In today's video, I've gathered 8 of my favorite ways to kickstart creative inspiration that will definitely get you creating right away. Okay, so fall is here and that means that winter is coming very soon. And for me, at least, that means staying inside and sleeping a little too much and just like complaining that it's dark outside all the time. And that isn't really the best mindset for getting creative inspiration. But just because it's winter, we can't just stop creating. We still have that itch inside of us that just needs to create something. But finding the inspiration to create, that is a little bit harder.
Let's fix that, right? Come, let's go.
Oh, and after watching the video, can we just make a deal that you actually go out and just use one of the ways? Because otherwise it's not really gonna make a difference. So, deal? Deal. Great. Bye. Look around, see what you have and just make it work. The point really isn't to create amazing art that has to be at the art museums or something. You just need to get your mind thinking creatively. So finding just any prop, like literally anything, and trying to tell a story from that or evoke a feeling from that thing will really get your mind thinking and hopefully draw some inspiration into your mind as well. This would be a great prop, for example. But yeah, anything. Challenge yourself. Because challenges are fun. And great. And you need to do it because you'll... Okay, I'm gonna stop. Taking part in a photography challenge or just like setting some rules for yourself will really make it a lot easier to find inspiration, just because you don't have so many things to choose from. And it kind of makes sense. Just imagine having a million different things to choose from, then finding one thing would be quite hard. But if you've eliminated 900,000 of those options, then it will be a little bit easier to choose one. I hope it makes sense. It was a bad example, but you get the point, right? Learn a new technique. It usually happens the other way around, where you find the idea that you want to create and then you have to learn the techniques that you need to learn in order to make that idea happen. But imagine if you did it the other way around, where you first, if you just do a quick Google search, you'll find hundreds of different photography techniques that are so much fun to learn, and then you just choose one and then you base the idea around that. So it's kind of like a challenge too, but you just have to like use that one technique in your photo, if that makes sense. And it's kind of like a win-win situation. You get new inspiration and you learn a new technique, so what's not to like? I once did it with that technique where you kind of cut out a hole in a body and it looks very cool. I didn't really make it look cool, but it was fun and I learned something and I got some new inspiration. So it's definitely one of the better ways, I think. If you think that you have to go out and find a real model in order to take photos, there's automatically a lot of expectations on your shoot. Just because, you know, there's another person who needs to have great photos as well. But if you just use yourself, you have a lot more room for experimentation and you can kind of like try out all the weird ideas that you never really dared to try out before. Remember that you don't really have to show the photos to anyone. If you don't like it, you can just delete it or just hide it on a hardware somewhere that no one will ever find. And yeah, you don't really have anything to lose with this one. And who knows, you might discover that you're a great model as well. So if you have yet to take those self-portraits, I think now is the right time. I know, boring, But just hear me out a little bit, because first of all, it's not boring at all. If you just go out to space with lots of beautiful nature to look at, then I promise you it won't be boring. And second of all, you'll allow your mind to think, and that is so important, especially if you're just a little bit like me and you sit by your desk all day with your phone next to you. Then you're bombarded with information all the freaking time, and you don't really allow yourself to reflect on all of that information. Because if you never reflect on the information, I think it makes a lot of sense that you don't really like, it's like not really digesting the information, so you only get it in, but you never really allow your mind to think about it and reflect on it. So definitely go out, have a walk, and allow your mind to reflect. I actually do have a little bit of a hard time putting this one in here, but I still have to because it is one of my go-to sources. But it really is a fine line, because the danger of this is that oftentimes we can end up liking the images we're seeing too much, and we actually end up copying them. And it's just bad for everything. It's bad for the person you're copying. I think most artists won't be happy if other people copy their work, but it's also not great for you and you developing your own skills and it's like your own idea of what the world is and stuff like that. But I do think that I've figured out kind of like a way of doing it and making sure that you don't copy. And the way I do it is that I find the image that I really like and I look at it and I admire it and all that stuff, and then I put it away and I don't look at it anymore until I've finished the image that I want to create as an artist. Because when you don't look at it, your mind, I think at least, will only remember the things that you really like, and that's really the things that you'll transfer over to your own image. So it won't be just like a true copy of that thing, it will be like your own version of that thing, if that makes sense. I think that is a better way of doing it. Yeah. But it is very helpful to just, and a very quick way of finding inspiration, to just go to Pinterest or any social media really and just look up some images. Draw or paint what you want to photograph. I think any medium really can work for this one. The point is really just to create something different that you're not really used to, and hopefully your mind will be opened up to new ideas. I'll say it again if you didn't listen the first 97 times people have told you this. Comparison is suicide. Period. Comparison just doesn't make sense for two reasons. One, you are unique to you. You don't have the same story as any other person on this planet, and you don't have the same way of thinking as any other person on this planet. So thinking that you have to create the same art just doesn't make sense, right? And second of all, do you post every single image you create on social media? Even the ones you really hate and the ones that don't really turn out the way you wanted it to? No? Then I think it's pretty safe to say that the ones you're admiring also don't post every single image to social media. We only post the things that we want other people to see. So comparing yourself to that perfect image just doesn't really make sense, right? You only see all the good stuff, so don't try to compete with that. Oh, yeah! We made it through all the 8 ways, and remember the promise you made me in the beginning of this video? I remember. Now is the time to go out and actually use one of the ways. And remember to comment down below which of the ways you chose and how it went, because I would love to read it and it would just be so much fun. And yeah, that was it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed watching, and remember to like the video, subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified every time I post a new video. And until next time,